Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. This is Martin here, and I'd like to welcome you today with another day with SmartRobie. That's right. Now, of course, things are not looking that great for Malaysia, as we did see that sell-off that we have on the KLCI last Friday, anticipating a bad or worse closing of the US market, but indeed, US did turn the other way around, and US actually closes both the Nasdaq and the Dow Jones close higher. But where is the KLCI going? So let me break it down for you in this morning in our breakfast show on SmartRobie. That's right, no other than. Now, if you look from things in the market in here, we do have our new feature on the VSA 360. So check it out on the insider buying and selling, a little bit of talking on the situation in here. But what has changed in here, pretty much what we seen last Friday. The status pretty much unchanged for the KLCI as it still continued to move sideways market. Any rebound that it had was actually a dead cat bounce. It's sort of trying to go up. And let me just share with you what I mean by here. Now, if you look at the chart I have here on the KLCI and you click on that one, and let me just put it up into a 1 month chart. The chart that you see on the left hand side, you have the big fall off here on the 14th on March. You can see that was then we have on the big sell off, then we have on the 17th. This is what we talk about, the dead cat bounce. Did bounce back up, retest back again on the 22nd, which I was expecting for it to retest, but we do know the 1450, you can see from this chart, 1460 is the resistance. So those of you who have the SmartRobie app, so check it out and you'll see that. And perhaps the big seller was last Friday, the 24th of March, where we did see this big sell-off that we get and such that the market fell off in here. This morning, holding up after the big sell-off because we didn't have the follow-through on the Friday night from the US market, and that's why the market held off in here. As such that I do encourage more of those beginner, for those of you who check out the FA Robie collection in here, at least they provide some sort of dividend coverage in here, highly correlated with our Pentagon guider, ensuring you able to. And of course, there are still some of those who are trading the penny stocks recovery on the part where we've seen the economic, especially the Air Asia in here and a little bit more in here. But right now, what we are seeing, so going back to this again, you can see the KLCI on top of me in here did rebound, did rebound back, but again, a dead cat rebound, of course. So the market now is testing the 1400 support level, and a lot of time it will continue to test and test and test. And if there's no more sellers, maybe we could get a bit of movement up there in here. But only the fraction of foreign funds are just buying a little bit, just 3 occasions over the last 2 weeks buying on our market, and that's not providing the kind of need of impetus of where the market can go higher. No doubt you can see the railway track up here is still tracking downtrend, and we are still proceeding much of the downtrend that you can see. So if you look at overall, let me just switch to a wider chart here, and you can see right now the on the VSA 360 as well as the TradingView plugin, you can see the futures chart are still going lower low. You can see this is a lower low. It's not really touching the high, so the trend is still pretty much down. It had turned 37 bars already. Now remember, previously in August last year, it was only 36 bars, which means about 36 trading days it was down. Right now we are down to almost 37 days, which is a new record despite not having much of a sell-off that we've seen everywhere else. Is the contagion effect or the banking stock here is causing that. And no doubt railway track is still crossing downwards in here, remain to be bearish. So Pentagon guide, as I said before, will provide some sort of a basis when it turns green. It's coming soon, right? It's coming soon, but we just need to be a bit patient. 37 bars already, been in the downtrend in here. Major support is still at 1380, bearing on no bad news that is coming out. I think the resistance is still the 1410, 1450 in here. Of course, a lot of them will be shifting to the narrative of the election, right, which is in actually June time frame in here, where people are talking about. That's pretty long, 3 months from now onwards. We have 3 bearish months. For those who are using the VSA 360, you will see that 3 bearish months. And if you look back from here, you can see just switch to a wider chart, and this is where the market is, pretty much downtrend from here. We did try to break higher but failed to do so. All right, so that's the kind of prognosis that we have in our market. And of course, let's look at the hot sector right now that we've seen in here. Still in the hot sector, let's hit one more time, right? And healthcare, right, from last Friday still continue to dominate, but of course nothing will continue to sustain the kind of momentum that we get. And this week, starting even last Friday, the sell-off on the healthcare have started. Maybe we'll turn our attention to utility or REITs, which I believe REITs is one of the best performing in KLCI for its strong dividend yield being in the property sector. Again, going back to the economic reopening as the market welcoming new tourists coming to the country. So on the hot sectors, let's check out last week. And the idea behind the hot sectors is that we want to be looking at those top 3 sectors, number 1 being the hottest one, and then the second trending, which is the second one in here. So you can see here, number 2 item, number 3 item is the utility and REITs. So giving it time, this stock may be able to climb back up, because usually those of you who have just turned hot sectors can turn back to oversold, right? Which we did see healthcare this week in here. So now let's take a look at last Friday, which is the 20th of March. No, sorry, last Monday. All right, last Monday, 20th of March, we did see some of these stocks that you have. Top Glove, let's check out Top Glove. So 7113, that's Top Glove. And so stock chart, stock comment, you can see that one was 92. And of course, anytime when we have this was a 2-bar reversal. Okay, 2-bar reversal, and it's not looking that good. As you can see from here, 2-bar reversal, and then the market just sort of turn back up. Okay, turn back up. So just keep in mind, anything that is going up too fast usually go there. Hexcare, let's take a look at Hexcare. Last week was small cap, and I do think it's the same picture that we are getting. Hexcare, all these already turned. Red Pentagon, some of them will be turning, I think. Yeah, this one, this one in here still maintaining despite we have a big sell-off. And this morning the market is surprisingly holding up. This price in here open up at 36. You may see a bit of correction in here. Let's take a look at Kosan also. Right, Kosan and stock chart, stock comment here. And Kosan doing much better compared to Top Glove. Okay, so that's something which is going up. But do take note, if you look from a chart here, as the market going up, we have 3 LC line change, then we have upthrust. So that generally translates to profit taking very, very soon. Even the same with Supermax. Right, let's take a look at Supermax here. These chart that you see here, stock chart, stock comment, hitting the stock comment here, and again profit taking, the 2-bar reversal, that is the sign of weakness that we all quite associate in VSA in here, and that's going to be the barrier. Now let's look at the last week stocks that we talked about, which was the FA list will at least have some sort of standing in terms of holding up compared to those stocks that's momentum going up. Pentec last week, so let's take a look at Pentec. This is Pentec here. All right. So Pentec on the let's look at the stock chart on the 20th of March. Switching to a wider chart here. This was the 20th, so it did sell off in here, touching the support that you see on top here, and then now rebounding back. Let's take a look at the fundamentals for Pentec. And the fundamental is looking pretty healthy. 6 out of 8 with a PE of 5. All right, ROE of 14, does pay a 6% dividend, right? And this is one of those, I do think that's pretty good stocks in there. CTL, Alliance Bank, there's not much of an institutional in this company in here. So I do think that it will be able to hold this price in here. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Oh, sorry. Next one is Westport, which many of us are quite familiar with that. One of the good. Let's take a look at the fundamental stocks. right? So you can see from the fundamental here for Westport, 5 out of 8 rating with a P of 17 times, being sector average of 20 times, paying almost a 4% dividend with a ROE at 21. Of course, port are generally not the sexy type, but you can see it's well supported at $3, $3.60 in here. Did close higher, but there's no follow through. Anything of a follow through right now, you'll see a lot of selling, which you just saw on the healthcare too. So the healthcare was the one that sell off. So if you have this chart, you can actually just turn it around, and let me show you how you can get this for those of you not familiar. And just hit the stock chart, stock comment, right? And let me just show you, and you can just rotate it like pretty much, so you can click on the top end button here, and you can see it just rotate like what you're seeing right now. Okay, so this is one of the new features of the SmartRobie in here. I do hope that some of you will share these great apps with some of your friends and colleagues in here and spread the word. But don't forget to subscribe to our free newsletter in our website in here. And let's take a look at the SmartRobie list to this morning in here. And what do we have? We have IoT, Guan, Dufu, KGB, FM, and DNext. But the earlier one we were looking was VStack and Uchitech. As I said before, a lot of these do change from time to time, but the one I'll be sharing in here is VStack, which did continue to go up higher, right? And let's take a look at the VStack fundamentals, right? What kind of dividend it's paying in here, being a technology company. Taiwan PE of 8 times, so that's pretty low, with a ROE, return on equity, of 14 times, dividend 4.6. That's pretty good too. But you can see from the chart wise, very nicely trending up, and let's hope it maintains it. But things that I'm concerned here, as it's moving up, you can see volumes are really dipping a bit lower this morning here. All right, so that's something to consider about if you are looking into this stock. Next one is Uchitech. Okay, another technology in here, right? Another technology stock. Looking at the stock fundamental first. So stock fundamentals is a P of 11 times with a sector average of 23, but the ROE, that's a very surprisingly of 56% compared to sector average being 10, and a dividend yield of 6% in here. No doubt, again, there is a lot of resistance that we see here, here and here. 330, anytime when you clock on 330, it's just sort of range bound, as I said before, on the background of so-called news that we are seeing in the KLSE. Many of these stocks, it's not just going to go up, it's just going to range bound and so forth, unless it goes through some sort of well support or quick buying by climatic action in here, where you see buyers are coming in at maybe below $3. This kind of stock will always push out. Other than that, look forward for the dividend play in this market here. So let's review the hot items that we have this morning for hot sectors in here. Is probably no other than utilities. And how do I know that? Go back to main menu here, all right, and go to hot sectors, and you can see one of them is definitely healthcare. We have seen healthcare, so let's take a look at utility item number 2. There are many of these stocks in here, and remember, it's sorted out by Pentagon Guide, the latest Pentagon Guide, whether it is a red Pentagon or green Pentagon, will be on top. FAC, this is one of those good stocks, as I said before. Let me just show you the chart wise first. Stock chart, stock comment here, and you can see since then he has broken down on a really low volume, hit 360, 350 in here, double top on there, and continue to come down. Now red Pentagon already right here. Tengaga is still green Pentagon, just turned, so T and B. And again, these are not the kind of sexy shares that are generally trending. It's just that people are looking into momentum play. But chart wise, this one's not too bad. You can see a nice setup in here. But if I were to look into further, you do have a resistance at 980 and above here. So check out some of these utility stocks. Look for those that has a good setup, good dividend. Maybe those something you want to look at too. All right. So as a summary, coming to our breakfast show ending, I think the market need to retest more on the support side, and this is what I've just shared with you in here, the KLCI in here. And if you have any stocks that you want me to look at, do pencil those in. I'm happy to look into it. The KL need to retest more and more of this support before moving to a stage 1 accumulation. And if you look at the chart that we have here, this 1 month chart, okay, And you can see it's sort of a very narrow range bound in here. Best play for those of you who continue to want to be here is to go on and check out the Robie FA stocks, collecting those dividend while waiting for a slightly longer term. And this long term of waiting is going to be long in here for the KLCI, and that's why I always talk about the other cross-border markets which is here. So make sure you join me on this this coming Wednesday, live FB. I'll talk about the opportunity that we've seen, especially during this banking crisis, on the technology shares using the US market in here. And for those of you who are more gung-ho, and I think trading can look at the ST2 intraday stocks in here. Let's take a look what we have. ST2. All right, a whole bunch of shares in here, Lei Hong, HP Globe, and a lot of these are generally really trading fast-moving Ewin and also Yin He, which is up 3% in here. All right, check it out in here, and who knows, some of these stocks may just move higher in here. So that's all I have for this morning in here. Do take note, market has been down 37 bars in here, and likelihood the market may turn very soon. Don't give up yet in here, and ensure that you follow us. Do join us and support us on our YouTube channel, and don't forget to subscribe when you're ready to our VSA 360 in here, and of course some of the new features and also review beneath. So we have come to the stock review. If you have any stocks you want me to take a look in here, feel free to let me know. I'll be happy to look at them in here, some of those stocks, but generally many of them are actually trending downwards in here. If not, that's all we have for this morning in here. And don't forget to subscribe to our Telegram channel for all things that is educational, insightful about the stock market. And thank you for coming, and thank you for your support. I'll see you more on this coming Wednesday. Bye-bye.